everyone, it's Ray. So, how's it going? For me, this week has just been a lot. Um, yeah, so I before I begin, I want us to all shout out the black women who stood topless um for Say Her Name, which is a campaign to make sure people are acknowledging and recognizing that black women are also subject to police violence and police brutality, and are often killed by police at alarming rates. We tend to only focus on particularly cis het black men who are killed by police, and there are more bodies that are impacted by police violence than just cis het men. As someone who has been a target of police violence and police harassment, I think it is so important that we recognize that this is more than cisgender heterosexual black men. This is a bigger issue, and we just need to really expand how we look at police brutality, even outside of blackness. Believe it or not, Native Americans are actually killed at a more disproportional rate by police than black folks. And it's really important that we recognize that too, because we often do not hear about the Native youth that are being killed by black people, and that to me is really sad. Because we're then choosing which marginalized groups that we believe we should fight for. So just think about that next time you're saying you're thinking of police brutality, expanded outside of cisgender heterosexual black men. With that being said, today I kind of want to talk about another basic concept, which is apologizing after you've done something violent. Um, Particularly speaking to people who have privilege. So I think we all commit acts of violence. Some big, some small, but it's still violence, and we shouldn't go, oh, I only just said something, because you never know how someone else is taking that and the impact that will have on someone else. So I think apologizing for violence is really important, especially when someone has taken the time to call you out for the things you have done or said. So to give a little backstory of why I'm doing this, a while back, this white cisgender gay man um, made this status of his white tears, being like, "Oh my God, I was called racist and transphobic and sexist this all in this week, and it's just been so hard." And I was like, you could just have a less violent masculinity. And it was like, "You're bullying him." I was like, "Actually, I'm not. In case you didn't hear, he's called racist, sexist, and transphobic. All of those things impact me. He has been extremely violent against my body. He has been extremely violent in removing and silencing me from spaces. So, I'm not bullying him. I'm telling him he needs to have less violent masculinity." Um, and his response to this was, "This is really not the time." Actually, it is the time. It's always the time to tell you to recognize your privilege. And that you can't just expect me to suddenly be like, "Oh, it's okay because you have apologized and making yourself the victim." Right? So I feel like there are two common ways that people apologize. The one, which I believe is how we should always apologize, is saying that "Hey, I have done something that has hurt you. I have said something that has hurt you. This was done because I did not realize the ramifications of what I was saying, and now I know. And I hope for this to be a learning for me. And I'm sorry that my learning had to come at the expense of your safety, um, and your well-being." Right? That's the way I think you should apologize to someone. But this is the way most people apologize. This way, right here. "I mean, I'm really sorry that you were hurt. But you calling me out is really hurting me and attacking and silencing me right now." Um, yeah, that's not so good. And I'll tell you why that's not so good. If I were to come up to you and punch you in the face and break your nose, I can't just say sorry and have your nose be unbroken. I can't do that. So, the way I should apologize to you is I am sorry that I was not able to control my violent impulses and have placed harm and done harm to your body by breaking your nose. I am sorry that I'm learning how to control my violence, and right now, that means that my learning process has inflicted violence onto you. Right? That's the way to apologize. In that situation. I can't come up to you and be like, "Hey, I know I broke your nose and I'm really sorry that my hands just happened to break your nose, but actually I hurt my fingers. Can you massage them?" Like that doesn't work. So, when you tell me that like your feelings are hurt by me calling you out, what you're asking me to do is to massage the hands that has just broken my nose. Um and that's just not gonna happen. And like going along with the broken nose, like if you say sorry, that does not unbreak my nose. It just really doesn't. Which means when you say sorry, I don't have to accept that apology. I don't have to suddenly be like, "Oh, it's cool." No, because I still have to deal with the impacts and ramifications of you being a violent individual. And the violence that has impacted my body, right? So I just want us to think about that when we feel that our apologies aren't being accepted. It's like, one, how did you apologize? Did you apologize by actually owning the things you have done? Um, or did you just apologize by saying, "I'm sorry you're hurt by this," right? And two, you have to recognize that like some apologies mean nothing. Like there are some things that like an apology is not gonna heal. There are some wounds that you can't put a band-aid on. That's just keeping it 100. So just think about this as you are called out and as you apologize to people. Are you actually owning up to breaking someone's nose, or are you asking them to massage your hand?